You are going to play me at the collision.
Fine. You're seeing two of the best teams of all time. We won one, they won one. Let's let this third one decide it once and for all.
On today's show, will Wonder Woman defeat James Bond? We get to recast Jaws for a modern era, and we solicit your live Twitter questions. Will there be any Mark Riley burner accounts? Movie Talk starts right now. Are they all Mark Riley burner accounts?
I neither confirm nor deny how many burner accounts I do have.
He collected the questions here today. Welcome, everybody. Happy Independence Day. Happy 4th of July to everyone watching us here today. While you're at a barbecue, we are hard at work in the studio, and we're taking your live Twitter questions. I would like to welcome to the show that is all Twitter-based. Yes, we rely on Twitter entirely for this show. It's something you should not try at home or without a safety belt. Mark Riley, you are here. You collected these questions. How confident do you feel in what you have?
What I have is good. I think they're good.
Sorry,
I thought there was more coming, and then there was like this hanging word.
To pick up the have.
I was waiting for the finish. Okay, look, I'm very confident. I'm very happy to be here. Happy 4th, everyone.
Yeah.
Talk movies, just and what ifs and speculate. That's what we like to do sometimes, you know.
It's the lifeblood of this.
Yeah.
Show, and Jeff Snyder is also here. Jeff Snyder, how are you doing, bud?
I'm great, and I just want to tell everybody out there, I've never had a hot dog.
Oh, what?
Okay, well then...
Why?
Superseding the first Twitter question, I'm going to get into this. Which one is worse? And I would actually love to hear your honest opinion. You can tweet us, Instagram, comment on this YouTube vid right now, or let us know when you're listening to our podcast feed on the Movie Talk Network. What is worse? What is the bigger transgression? Jeff Snyder never having a hot dog in his life, or Mark Ellis never seeing Boogie Nights?
Okay, it's Boogie Nights, hands down. Hands down, Boogie Nights. Boogie Nights.
What is a hot dog? You can't even tell me what a hot dog is.
Look, that sounds like a choice that you are not going to eat hot dogs. A choice. I get. Boogie Nights?
Yeah.
That's just ignorance.
That's just I can't. I don't even know what to say.
We're speechless here. This is the host of Movie Talk.
Never seen Boogie Nights, but I hear that there is a lot of sausage in it. Now, look, let's move on to some barbecue-related questions that you guys are going to really enjoy here. You're going to spend some time with us on your 4th of July. And our first question is one of speculatory and what-if nature, and it's one that I adore, and I know Mark Riley does too, because it involves recasting the movie Jaws. So David Taylor kicks us off at I am David J. Taylor. If you could recast Jaws for this current time, who would you cast? Now, I'm assuming that David Taylor's question is in the spirit of you're recasting Jaws with modern actors, but it's not taking place in modern day, because modern day Jaws, it's just a different time. We got cell phones. We have technology. If we really wanted to stop this shark from wreaking havoc upon Amity, we would be able to do so like that. We're not going to have to spend days on the ocean. So I'm assuming the movie still takes place in 1975, but it's with a different cast. Mark Riley, you are not only recasting Jaws, you are also listening to a Making of Jaws podcast series.
Yeah.
Nerd
I
alert.
Sure am. And I'm dropping a Riley Roundtable doing commentary on Jaws with Dan Murrell.
Wow.
The two of us. So check that out. As you're watching this now, Riley Roundtable is going to be up with me, Dan Murrell. We're talking Jaws. So
Both
anyways,
big Jaws
boom,
fans.
look at that graphic coming up. One, we're never going to remake Jaws. Okay, let's just get that out of the way.
Okay.
We're not going to do it. This is a fun casting. I like your take, though, because if a great white shark in today's society were to terrorize a small town, great white sharks are on the endangered species list. It would be a different, like so different you couldn't even touch this. But I like the idea of casting, looking at the actors: Robert Shaw, Richard Dreyfuss, Roy Scheider. Here's who I have for Quint: Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh boy,
Daniel Day-Lewis as Quint, a surly sailor, Ahab type. I can see him doing it. I can see him maybe drinking a lot. You know, he's very method. Just drink. He just goes on a bender for a month and then walks onto set.
If you're casting Daniel Day-Lewis as the other two gentlemen, then this whole movie's null and void.
Is the other Daniel Day-Lewis in each part?
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
But he's retired, Riley, so you can't. He's like,
yeah, he's gonna get bored cobbling those
limits.
shoes. Okay, he's gonna get.
And you think a Jaws remake will be what gets him back?
Again, Jaws remake not happening. Fun speculation happening right now.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, Hooper, James McAvoy. I love James McAvoy. I can see some of the
Very
stuff he
close to where I
brought
went
to.
with it. Very close.
Oh, really? Okay, I like this. And then I know he's a little older, but for Brody, I'm going the perfect Tom Hanks. I'm on Tom Hanks as the sheriff. I know he's a little older right now, but maybe older than Roy Scheider. But I can see Tom Hanks being that. He's maybe gonna the quiet time for his family, moves to Amity to become the sheriff. He was a New York cop. He puts on a little New York accent. Tom Hanks, Daniel Day-Lewis, James McAvoy. Beat that.
All right, 3 heavy hitters right out of the gate. Jeff Snyder.
I'm not going to beat that. All right, this is what I had. So I'm pulling an audible here for my Quint, and I'm shifting the guy I had in Quint over to Brody.
To where?
Okay, because
originally
for Brody, I had Kevin Bacon.
For Brody?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
But now I'm going,
That's not bad.
that's not my choice anymore.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
going Woody Harrelson.
Ooh, Brody.
Woody Harrelson as Brody.
That's not
Idris
bad.
Elba as Quint.
Ooh,
A grizzled sailor.
I love that. Okay.
And Donal Gleason as Hooper.
Oh, yeah.
And as Bruce the Shark, I had the Meg.
So
Yeah.
you're going. So this is the Meg sequel.
I think we're all going to agree on the casting of the Meg as Bruce is the right way to go.
Yeah.
Because you
Bigger
gotta
and
go
better.
Bigger and better, the 75-foot Carcanon Mech.
But McAvoy and Donal Gleason, that's very close.
That is, yeah.
That.
Okay.
All right, so for my casting, as Lieutenant Brody, I have Jason Statham. No, I have I actually have Sterling K. Brown is my Brody.
Okay.
I
like
Brown is
that.
my Brody.
Very nice.
Not for Quint, for Hooper, I am going to go with. This was a very tough call for me. I was initially thinking I want somebody who has comedy chops, but also can be dramatic, like Richard Dreyfuss was in that movie. So I was leaning towards Bill Hader initially. But I just wanted somebody who looked a little more gruff when they needed to be. So I'm going Zach Galifianakis is going to be my Hooper, and then as Quint.
Okay.
I have cast somebody that I think is going to just do a bang-up job of being a grizzled old vet. And for that, I have Christopher Walken is going to be my
A little
Quint.
too old.
Wow.
We could de-age him. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how good he is on the water. That was a really bad walk.
You know.
I got
I
a
didn't
good
even know you
walk,
were
and
trying to
those
walk.
weren't the words.
When a shark bites into you,
Now-
and his eyes roll over black.
Yeah, it's like a doll's
It's
eye.
like a doll's eye. It's like death.
All right. I like this. I like this Jaws
We
remake.
gotta
You don't
do
think we're
this.
ever going to see, Jeff, do you think there's any scenario where we would ever see another? Well, let me ask you like this. I don't think we're ever going to remake the first Jaws. Do you ever see a continuation of Jaws?
Like they're doing with
Like
all
Jaws
the
5.
nostalgia kind of things where
I don't
Jurassic
know.
World picks up in the same universe. Men in Black is going to
Spielberg has resisted every attempt to
Rightly so.
touch this movie or this franchise. I really think he was unhappy with what happened with the sequels. It seemed like.
Yeah. He was originally he reconsidered directing Jaws 2, but then he couldn't work it in a schedule because he was gonna.
I just feel like if it hasn't happened now, why would it? If it hasn't happened yet, why would it happen now? Because like all the executives that Spielberg came up with in the business, those are the people who would be able to get to him, would be able to convince him to change his mind or something. I don't see years down the line, maybe once Steven is gone, I don't know if I see them doing it.
But again, how can you do a Jaws movie with the way that the great white sharks are looked at now, with Shark Week, with everything that's going on in our culture, with Jaws starting it,
I see what you mean.
which became Peter Benchley, who wrote the novel, had to come out and say, please stop killing the sharks.
How do you turn a shark into a villain these days?
Yeah,
Almost.
because I think that could be an interesting angle in the story to get activists to come in and go, don't kill the shark, because it's like, well, the shark's killing our people. What do we do? And then, but I think science is at a place right now where it's like, this is what we do. We tag it and we get it out of here.
Yeah, I'm
somehow.
interested to see how they approach that with the Meg, if they're even going to bother with it at all, as far
No,
as
they're not
like,
gonna bother with
animal
that.
rights and all that kind of stuff. Because it would be fascinating if you did discover a Megalodon in modern times just swimming around. If it endangers a beach, I don't know what the play is there, but certainly I don't think you should remake Jaws. Not just because it's a great movie, but also because times have changed, and I love sharks, and we look at sharks now. They're still we do look at them as monsters. When you advertise Shark Week and it's just nothing but rows of teeth, you're still selling them as monsters, but they're monsters that we root for now, a la King Kong or Godzilla. They're like ones that we actually care about. So watch Jaws, know it's a time capsule, and is a movie that should not take place today or should ever be remade.
Yeah.
But we appreciate the question, David Taylor. All right. Next question comes from Cody Guest, and this is Cody Hall, not even attempting to change his burner account from anything too dramatic. How different would the history of animated movies be if Toy Story was a flop? Jeff Snyder, if Toy Story comes out and it just doesn't work with audiences, do we have Pixar still running today? Do we have computer animation?
That is quite the hypothetical, because Toy Story is maybe the greatest animated movie, so how could it not work? I mean, you're essentially asking, what if a movie that wasn't Toy Story came out? I don't know. I assume that there'd be more 2D animation. I imagine that Pixar would not be as dominant a force. Maybe DreamWorks Animation would be that animation studio that we hold as, like, you know, the highest. I imagine there'd be more fairy tales. Yeah, other than that, I'm not really sure how to answer.
The fairy tale thing is interesting, and I wonder how we would look at Shrek, because that's obviously what you're talking about with DreamWorks Animation, that Shrek is kind of the king of the hill if Toy Story doesn't work. I think Pixar is still a thriving studio in the modern age. I just think that if Toy Story didn't work in the mid-'90s, it's because we just weren't quite ready for it. It's Marty McFly. It's, you may not, you know, you're not ready for this yet, but your kids are going to love it. So it's eventually we're going to pass that threshold. I think Pixar would have been, I think Pixar just had too much going for it at the time, that if one movie would not have stopped them, because then you had Toy Story come out, right? Then you had Ants and A Bug's Life were the next two kind of CGI-ish movies. I don't think that those would have been the ones that started
those weren't the breakout. So what would have been the breakout? Monsters, Inc., maybe?
I mean, if Pixar kept going, I mean, the bottom line is you can't stop technology, so this CGI or this 3D animation would eventually happen.
Right.
The reason Toy Story worked so well is the story. And always, you got to go to story. And I can't imagine, I mean, the biggest example I have, I remember going in for a meeting at Disney when there was Open Range. It was that movie with the cows, and Rosie O'Donnell was a voice. And they were really pumping that. There was a big mural out, and they were like, that's the next one. That thing bombed because Toy Story came out and just superseded everything. So you're never going to stop the technology. I think maybe DreamWorks might be up there. I think it would have been delayed. The whole 3D animation craze would have just been delayed until that movie hit, be it a Shrek, be it a Monsters University, be it a Bug's Life even. Ants, I don't know. Ants was, in my opinion, not too good of a movie for me to really enjoy it. But I think you're not going to stop Pixar with the way that we know them now. I think they would have just dusted themselves off because they had Bug's Life in development at the time Toy Story comes out. So we're going to get that next. All
right. The first 3 Pixar movies to be released were Toy Story, A Bug's Life, and
Monsters Inc.
Not Monsters Inc.
Toy Story 2.
Toy Story 2, yeah. So it probably would have been Monsters Inc. And then the next movie after Monsters Inc. was Finding Nemo. And I think Finding Nemo, if it didn't take off by then, Finding Nemo would have elevated Pixar to be like, okay, now we fine, we love these movies, and there's a good shark in Finding Nemo as well. All right, our next question comes from Zach B, and this is the coolest way to spell Zach because it's with 2 Ks. Zach, with a new Halloween sequel reboot coming, if the movie does well at the box office, do you think Platinum Dunes would move forward with another Nightmare on Elm Street reboot or sequel? And obviously, who would you cast as Freddy Krueger? Mark Riley, you love the Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
I do.
You are rooting for Halloween, as we all are.
I think a lot of studios are.
Halloween does well. I think it will.
I think it'll do well.
That going to be a harbinger of things to come for Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah. I think a lot of people are looking to see how Halloween does for the slasher genre, or the nostalgia iconic slasher. I mean, we discussed rebooting different movies. As far as Freddy Krueger, Daniel Day-Lewis, obviously, as Freddy Krueger.
Fresh off retirement from his Oscar-winning role as Quint.
Yep.
He retired again after
Quint brought him back to the limelight, and a genre actor now. Who knew? So he's going into Freddy Krueger. I don't know what you do, especially Nightmare on Elm Street, because the reboot did so poorly, and it had an interesting idea with the power naps that they had, or those flash naps, where
micro naps,
or what do they call them, and then all of a sudden Freddy's there in the grocery store with them.
That was pretty stupid.
Well, ultimately that movie just did not work, and I don't know how you crack that story. I immediately go to Friday the 13th as well as something that could be doing, but I know that there is a lawsuit happening with the rights for Friday the 13th, so I don't know how far that's getting off the ground. I know Platinum Dunes wants to remake that and get the rights back. But yeah, Halloween, I think, if anything, we'll get a Halloween 2 if it does really well.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, sure. I don't know about Friday for Nightmare on Elm Street though. I really don't know because it didn't do well. The original did, so I don't know if you just try to capture what the nostalgia is now, and you pick up years later, and maybe you get rid of you ignore the other ones and you bring Nancy Thompson back.
I would ignore the other ones. I would ignore
but that would mean ignoring Dream Warriors.
I'm fine with that.
No.
Fine with that.
No.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with ignoring as much of Nightmare on Elm Street as you need to if you're going to reboot it properly.
Then you take
it seriously.
You bring back Patricia Arquette as Kristen from Dream Warriors. Pick it up years later, and Freddy has been working his way back up in the dream cycle, almost like Voldemort does in Harry Potter, where he has to he has to suck off some energy from kids, little nightmares here and there. We're like, oh, that was a bad dream, but nothing bad. And then Freddy gets power again. And he comes after Kristen.
Yeah, Patricia Arquette says, yeah, there was this guy in this hospital, and his head was lodged into a TV while he was watching the Dick Cavett show.
There it is.
And then everybody's like, what's the Dick Cavett show? I think that was one of the young ladies, actually, not a young man. Jeff Snyder.
Riley is wild today. He's a wild stallion.
4th of July, baby.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I guess so, baby. Fireworks are shooting off next to me. First of all, I would like to see not more of Freddy Krueger, but more of Fred Krueger.
Yeah, I see where you're
New
going
Nightmare?
with that. The creepy janitor.
Yeah, I want to. That's what I'm interested with all these movies. I want to see more about Pamela Voorhees sitting at home, getting the call that the counselors at the camp have let Jason drown.
Oh,
that's what I want to see. I want to see Charles Lee Ray, strangling multiple women and learning how to do voodoo before ultimately becoming Chucky, etc. I think that stuff would be interesting. So here's what I would do. I would give this reboot, which would be a clean reboot, not bringing back Oscar winner Patricia Arquette from some random Elm Street sequel.
What's wrong with you?
I would give it to Scott Derrickson, who comes from Horror Roots, who can marry visual effects with brains. I would make this like a cheapo Doctor Strange, almost, visually. And I would cast my man, Edward Norton, as Freddy Krueger.
That's good.
You did some
That's
research.
why I should be a development executive.
You did some research on this.
Yeah,
question.
I have to. If I am the development executive, and these are my two underlings, you guys each came to me with this pitch of Nightmare on Elm Street. Riley, I love you to death. I got to take.
Get me on movie fights.
No.
Clean reboot.
I'm taking Snyder's as well. That's a good one. That's a really good one.
Yeah, I think casting-wise, I think Edward Norton would be an interesting choice. I do agree we should go back into the lore of Fred Krueger a little bit more. And I'm going to make a. I'm going to be honest here. I'm going to have a mea culpa here. I couldn't remember who I had casted as Quint, so I just picked Walking Out of a Hat. The person because I don't write notes down. The person I had cast as Quint, I will have play Fred Krueger instead. I had Michael Shannon as Quint.
Oh,
but now I'm going to have Michael Shannon be.
He would
Freddy
be good.
Krueger.
I think he would be totally
okay. Derrickson with Shannon. I'm the development exec here, and I'm just got yours.
Wait,
so
just
Shannon,
because you made the crappiest movie,
he just got a promotion.
Yeah, that's how Hollywood
He's now
works.
Choosing.
That's how it works. I did
the worst idea, and he gets the promotion.
I made a shitty Nightmare on Elm Street movie and got a promotion. This is exactly how Hollywood works, kids. But that's great. That's Shannon and Derrickson. I'm in for that.
Sign us up.
Doing some, we're rewriting history here today. We're recasting Jaws, Nightmare on Elm Street, Toy Story Never Happened. What's the fourth question? Well, that's up to Drew. And Drew says he's seen the movie The Big Lebowski twice, and he doesn't get why it's so beloved. What movies do you not love that are critically acclaimed? Jeff Snyder, start with you.
I will agree with, it was Drew?
It was Drew.
Yeah, I agree with him. I don't love The Big Lebowski either.
I don't know what's wrong with you.
I mean,
he's never had a hot dog.
I just I prefer their darker stuff. Fargo, Blood Simple, etc.
Okay.
It's like its protagonist. It's a little aimless. The movie. Anyways,
that's the point. Drifting along in the drifting tumbleweeds. That's
a
the
good
dude.
movie. I like it.
He drifts along and has this adventure, and it's a noir movie, detective movie, funny.
I don't dislike The Big Lebowski, but I don't know why people love it as much as
I love it.
Same wavelength as Snyder. I like the movie. There's scenes in Big Lebowski that are endlessly rewatchable and laugh out loud funny to me. But when it gets too weird and dreamlike and crazy, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out of movie talk right now. You people are absolutely insane.
We're pissing off the development executive. We better.
Big Lebowski is, if not the best Coen Brothers movie, is it's one of the best comedies of all time.
Okay.
This movie, and I understand because it is an acquired taste. I did when I first saw The Big Lebowski, I went, what? Why is this funny? And when I saw it again, I was like, wait a minute. Okay, some of these jokes started to really hit for me.
It does grow on you.
It does grow
it's a
on.
grower.
And then when you keep watching it, the nuances and that performance of Jeff Bridges and John Goodman as Walter and Steve Buscemi as Donnie, it's just the best threesome.
I love those guys together. And then when it veers off into the Lebowski, Julianne Moore,
that is
Tara Reid
just
stuff, it's not as...
That is so incredibly funny. Oh God, I can understand. I'm gonna push back and just
That's okay.
and just
You're
plead
entitled.
with you.
I'm gonna answer the question now.
Damn it.
I would say movies like Swiss Army Man.
Yeah.
People love that movie at Sundance. I thought it was garbage. Movies like the movie Right Over Your Shoulder, Sorry to Bother You, which will be hailed as subversive genius in some quarters, I thought was absolute trash.
Wow.
And Mother was another one where people came out saying masterpiece, and this is an unwatchable film.
Some
from one of my
people came
favorite
out saying
filmmakers. Some people,
masterpiece.
yeah.
I heard nothing but
it's a big fat F for me.
yeah. I heard nothing but bad things about Mother.
It had its
No,
its
people loved
champions
it.
and
Beardo
quarters.
loved it. And Beardo loved it. And I was at a screening a couple weeks ago, and somebody like 2 rows behind me, they were talking about how much they loved Mother and how now they can't wait to watch Mother again on some sort of mind-altering substance. And I was just thinking, like, God, this is why I don't talk to people at screenings. This is why when I go to screenings, I'm just, as soon as I sit down, it's me and Words with Friends, and that's it. Then I'm there for the movie, not the camaraderie. God, I sound like a
I'll
curmudgeon
play
right
Words
now.
with Friends with you, Mark.
I can vouch for that too. You know.
Okay, so let's not be curmudgeon-y. Let's you and me have an interaction.
Sure.
And a movie that you think is overrated.
Well, one of the movies that I always get shit with online is Mad Max Fury Road. I know it's a big, huge genre movie
with
that
you.
people love, and I saw it and I've seen it twice, and I went, okay, it's
a good
great.
movie.
I can look at it's
a good movie.
I look at it and I go, it's a good movie. It's a really good movie. It's really well made. It's really well acted. The stunts are incredible.
Where's the story? It's because there's no story.
No story.
You love story.
No story.
There's really no story.
Yeah,
Come on.
I
Best Picture
couldn't
nomination?
even tell you. They want to go to the promised land where
I'm
a
with
tree
you.
is.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
They go this, and then they go this. That's the whole movie.
So it's fine. I also think of There Will Be Blood is not high up there on the list for me.
You're
You
crazy.
could say that about Mad Max Fury. They go here and they go there. You could say
You just cast
the
Daniel
raid guy
Day-Lewis.
goes into a building and he's done. It's
Daniel
like,
Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis in every movie. You don't
Is
like There Will Be Blood?
Is phenomenal in that movie. It's a movie that I go, yeah. Not my favorite Paul Thomas Anderson. We were talking Boogie Nights.
Tough 3 hours.
Boogie Nights. It is a tough 3 hours.
Tough 3 hours.
It's
right.
something
Boogie Nights
that-
and Magnolia are more fun to watch than those.
That's right. Even Punch Drunk Love is something I enjoy more than his later work. Paul Thomas Anderson, his later
that's
work,
wild, Riley.
happens.
Punch Drunk Love's better than There Will Be Blood? No.
No, it's not. I would say that I enjoy it more, but it's
see.
a better, well-made movie is There Will Be Blood. I mean, I can look at that movie and go, yeah, it's deserving of all of the accolades that it made. Paul Dano's great in it, Daniel Day-Lewis, but for me, enjoying, it's like, I saw it, great.
Okay, I'm gonna go with some movies that are critically acclaimed that I do not love. Those are Boogie Nights, Magnolia, Punch
seen
Drunk Love,
Haven't seen
Inherent Vice, The Master. No, I actually did see The Master and I like it. Just something about Paul Thomas Anderson movies. It's hard. I made it to 10 minutes into Punch Drunk Love, and I'm like, not my cup of tea. I didn't turn on expecting to see like Click or Grown Ups, but I wasn't in the proper mood. I knew I had to be in a proper mood to watch. I was not in said mood. Need to check out Magnolia and Boogie Nights. I'll give you that. Inherent Vice is one of the worst experiences I've ever had watching cinema.
Unwatchable.
If I just came into the world and you said, hey, if I came back in time like a Terminator and I was naked and I was just walking around, hey, what do people do for fun? Hey, we go to the movies. Okay, what's playing? Inherent Vice, and that's what I saw. Never go to another movie again. Ever. Hate it.
Unwatchable.
Hate it.
I'm with you.
And Fantasia is a movie that I just despise. Just despise Fantasia.
Fantasia doesn't move the needle for me.
Fantasia?
It's just,
Fantasia's awful.
I can understand. I mean,
a waste of
it's
life.
fine. It's fine.
It's
nothing great.
a waste of artists.
Gotta move this along before I have a heart attack.
They're just trying to make Mickey into some weird wizard, and it's really good if you do a lot of drugs.
I liked it better when it was Jay Baruchel.
Maybe that's why I like it so much.
All right, yeah, the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah.
All right, our next question comes from First Name is Agent at Infinite Query. All right, in your opinion, what is the scariest non-humanoid horror movie creature ever? For them, it's a xenomorph queen. So a humanoid, it's something that it cannot be in the shape of a human. So predators don't really count in this scenario because they are technically humanoid. A lot of aliens that we see, like if you've seen Fire in the Sky or if you've ever been to Mark Riley in this cabin, then I think that those are humanoid creatures, so it doesn't really count. So something that is non-humanoid.
I get it. No Michael Myers, no Freddy Krueger, etc.
Yeah. So what do you got?
Well, first of all, I think of this guy. This is a very nerdy question, by the way. Non-humanoid, the xeno. I just call it the alien from Alien. Okay.
Yeah.
Xenomorph queen.
Xenomorph.
And that is probably the correct answer. That is a terrifying design.
Very gooey, drippy mouth.
Yeah, but since I don't want to steal your choice, this is going to be an odd one. I'm going with Critters.
Okay.
I was terrified of Critters growing up. Those rows of sharp teeth, and they were so small, so they could hide places. Critters freaked me out.
Critters, huh?
Yeah.
I liked it. It was the second one where they become the huge critter
Huge ball. Yeah, that's
and then
terrifying.
it rolls over people, and they literally their skeletons right
they're
after.
mowing people
Was
down.
that DiCaprio in that one?
That's 3.
That's
That's
3.
the one in
Okay.
space with Angela Bassett. And people question my horror credentials.
This is no. I never question them.
All right. Non-humanoid.
Non-humanoid. I mean, the classic we talked about it. Jaws. Jaws is scary to me because of the lack of shark in the movie and the music and the atmosphere. That scares me every single time. I love the alien thing. I'm going to go off book and say that the demon in The Exorcist. We don't know what that is.
Pazuzu.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because of that flash. It is humanoid, though. The flash of the face. But
Well, that's a human form of it. I imagine that it can take many forms.
It
I
can
imagine
take
it can look
many
like
forms,
that. It
yes.
can be Captain Howdy.
We don't know what it is. We don't know, and that's what you see a theme in my monsters here. You don't know what they look like, at least for Jaws in the first part of the movie. I mean, that's what's great about Jaws. He makes it a monster movie. It's not about the shark. And then by the time you do see the shark, and people say the thing can't hold up to today's effects, well, that's kind of how scary it is to me. When I was a kid, I'm like, that's what a shark is? Because it looks like a big monster. For Exorcist, same kind of deal. We don't know. We don't know how it's not going to come out. It possesses people, sure, and becomes humanoid. But I like the idea of Pazuzu with the wings and
I think I've got Ellis's pick pegged, but I want to hear it. Let's see.
Yeah.
Well, no. If you think you have it, then you can.
No, I want to see if
levy
I'm
a
right.
Prediction.
I think you're going to go with The Thing.
I was not going to go with The Thing, although that's very good.
Okay.
That's very good. And The Thing is definitely scary. The ones that have had the 2 biggest impact on me, obviously, every time you go to the beach and you swim, you think about the Jaws music, or even if you're me and you're in the deep end of a pool, you think about it. Or I'm going to go with Toby from the Paranormal Activity movies, because Toby is a demon that just likes to mess stuff up. Toby is just, it could be a shadow, it could be, oh man, you see the Paranormal Activity movies and then you go home, and not everybody lives with a roommate or a significant other, Jeff and Mark. Some people live by themselves, and when you live in an apartment that creaks at night, there's a lot of things going on. It's a scary
I would
thing.
not even know the name of the entity from Paranormal
You knew
Activity.
Pazuzu? That's a tougher one than
Toby? What kind of a name? Oh, it's Scary Toby.
That's
Well,
the
now
thing.
you know. Now you know.
I learn
File that
something
away.
every day on the show.
File
what was
that
the other
away.
one, though?
It was that.
Oh, I thought you said you had 2.
No, well, the shark from
Oh,
Jaws.
okay, fair
Yeah,
enough.
That's
all right.
good.
I think gremlins are good too. They're not humanoid, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Gremlins
You
kind
can-
of
I mean-
Start with me on this next question so we can just get it out of the way.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see the chat board lighting up.
Exactly.
James Ross is up next, and he says, "What's a cool scene you would want to see in Star Wars Episode 9?" Mark Riley, let's kick this one off with you. Jeff Snyder, you really want to go first? You have a great scene.
I don't. I have 2 scenes that I want to see.
Are you going to hate on Star Wars Episode 9?
Yes, I don't care about Star Wars Episode 9.
You don't care about Star
I
Wars.
want to see a sex scene between Adam Driver and Daisy Ridley.
Okay.
A lot of sexual
I think
tension
a lot
there.
of people do actually.
And or I want to see a scene where Darth Vader says he was just joking about the dad stuff.
With Darth Vader?
Yeah, that's right.
So he was not Luke and Leia.
Right. He's like, Luke, I was just kidding. Psych.
Okay.
You've seen the prequels, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah.
I've seen one of the prequels.
It would be interesting to see how fans handle that, Mark
Yeah.
Riley, if Darth Vader ends up not being the father of
I
Luke
couldn't
and
take
Leia.
the assignment seriously.
We're not even on air anymore. That's how much that question has just destroyed the everything.
Thad is threatening to pull the plug right
All
now.
right.
If he does, you need to have a great answer to restore the faith in the show.
I will bring it back on track because it was teased in The Last Jedi. I need to see Luke Skywalker Force Ghost haunting Kylo Ren. I need to see a
Haunting him.
scene in which he says, "See you around, kid," and he actually shows up as a Force ghost, as almost like his conscience.
I think that's going to happen.
I absolutely believe
I think you're
it's
going to see
gonna
Mark
happen.
Hamill in episode 9. That's
I
just my
think
guess.
of course we are. Of course we are.
I'm not saying anything
he's
great.
He's gonna be in the movie. He's gonna be a Force ghost. There is precedent on this from ever since episode 5, Empire Strikes Back.
He's going to be a Force ghost. There's precedent. Precedent exists for this.
Jeff Snyder, shut up. I have the mic. I have the mic right now. I am a Star Wars fan. You are not.
That's what
I don't
need.
give you.
I need a guy to tell me.
I
to shut
don't
up.
need. It's fine if
We
you don't
should
like
have
Star
excused
Wars.
Snyder during this question to go try his first hot dog, and then he
right.
could have come back and
I know.
reviewed it. And then
go
we could
eat a
have
hot
nice-
dog while I talk Star
Yeah.
Wars. Luke Skywalker haunting Kylo Ren, I think for one scene would be incredible. You get a kind of like a Hamlet thing going on with this thing where the ghost of his father is coming in, but it's his uncle, and he's telling him, if you keep going down this path, you are going to see nothing but hate, and your life is going to end. And Kylo Ren, who is already walking that line right now, we saw it in episode 8, The Last Jedi, he is touching the light. Snoke picked it up on him. I think I want to see that. That is the one scene I need to see.
Okay, I would like to see Kylo Ren eat it. I'd like to see him die. I think that's the right way for him to go out. He had a chance to redeem himself multiple times in Episode 8. Never took the opportunity. As a matter of fact, I kind of blame him for Luke Skywalker passing away. So I would like Kylo Ren, if you're going to have a hand in offing Luke and you are the one that killed your dad, Han Solo, I just don't see any redeeming for you. Therefore, I would like you to perish in Episode 9. I'd also like to see some more Force Ghost action from Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, and Yoda, portrayed by Frank Oz. That's what I'm really looking forward to. I want many, many, many Force Ghosts in this movie. I want there to be like an NFL team
Ghost
picture.
World.
I want Force Ghosts. I want a bleacher full of Force Ghosts that are just lined up.
I think they're all going to appear at one point surrounding Kylo Ren as he goes out.
I just want to see Kylo Ren with a shirt on.
That would help too.
With a
That
shirt
would help
on?
too.
On, Riley,
It'll be on. What do you think? Is it just me? The Kylo
The whole
Ren
movie is just
calendar
walking around
spread?
like it's Baywatch up there in
That was
space.
one scene.
All right,
one
so
scene.
look, all I'm gleaning from this question is that Jeff Snyder prefers his sex scenes where they're still wearing shirts.
I was a big girls fan.
All right.
Perfect.
Joey Casali writes, he's a huge fan of the show. Well, thank you, Joey. I'll take most of the credit for that.
It's us.
Since it's my birthday on the 4th. Happy birthday, Joey. 4th of July, baby. Wow, you must answer our question. We will. I've been fascinated by the idea of double features like Grindhouse, for example, but I love the idea of watching similar films together. What is the perfect double feature for you guys?
Such a good question.
All right, good double feature that is not necessarily like movie and then the sequel to the movie, but they're in a similar kind of vein. Anybody want to kick
I got
that
a
off?
I got a few. Can I give like a few?
Yes.
Sure.
I mean, I love the 90s action doubleheader, so like I would probably do Speed and The Rock.
I was going to say The Rock and Con Air,
that's
good
great.
one too.
Yeah,
combination.
Yeah.
I could see with the Cage thing.
Yeah.
I kind of had the same thing with Spacey. I mean, I think Silence of the Lambs and Seven back to back are sort of like the godfathers of that genre. But if you wanted to do Seven and Usual Suspects back to back and get a double dose of Spacey, very different Spacey performances, I think that would be fascinating. Goodfellas and Casino, if you have an entire day to spend on a double feature.
It's going to have to be a full deck.
And of course, the James Cameron double feature, T2 and Aliens. Would be
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I like those too. I like The Abyss as a jumping off point too. For like, if I get really sucked into The Abyss, chances are I'm going to be wanting to watch Terminator 2 next. Mark Riley, what do you got?
There hasn't been any good slapstick movies in decades. So I want to program Airplane and Spaceballs. And just go right in and watch Airplane, have fun, a spoof of all those 70s disaster movies, and then go spoof right into Star Wars, sci-fi, Star Trek, everything, Alien. I mean, Spaceballs spoofs all of that. And if you want to do a bunch of Mel Brooks, I mean, who's going to stop you? Blazing Saddles and The Producers I would do. I like the idea of Naked Gun and maybe Hot Shots.
God, I love Hot Shots so much.
Hot Shots is fantastic.
I would see
Top Secret.
Yeah, I was going to say Airplane and Top Secret would
Top
be my
Secret and Airplane.
my 1-2, and then for Mel Brooks, I would do Young Frankenstein And then I'd either do History of the World Part 1 or I'd do Spaceballs. Spoof, especially on 4th of July. I think like a good spoof movie, but action movies, it's kind of hard to, like Independence Day and Armageddon, pretty good back-to-back on 4th of July. I'm going to kind of cheat because I'm taking 2.5 movies because Double Impact, it's one movie, but it's double the Van Damage. So I'm going to do Double Impact. I'm going to put that into Hard Target because I like a good action movie
There it is.
on 4th of July.
Like
all right,
that.
thank you, Joey. Happy birthday. Thanks for watching the show. Nick Field is next up, and he says, which highly anticipated November 2019 sequel will have the bigger box office performance? Wonder Woman 1984 or Bond 25? That's a whole lot of numbers, and I think there's no way in hell that the James Bond movie outperforms Wonder Woman 1984. I think this could be the greatest Bond movie of all time, and Wonder Woman 1984 could open to bad critical reviews, and it would still outperform it. I think the appetite for Wonder Woman and the DCU resurgence is that strong. I think Bond 25 is going to be good. I think Daniel Craig is going to come back to play. I just think Wonder Woman 1984 is going to outgross it, and it's not going to be that close. What do you say, Mark Riley?
On paper, yes. Absolutely, Wonder Woman's going to destroy Bond 25. However, what did Skyfall make? Didn't it make over $1 billion worldwide?
Yes.
So I think that if we were to reverse the, kind of touch on what you said, if Wonder Woman 1984 comes out and doesn't land with audiences as much as the original did, and Bond 25 comes out and we have reportedly Daniel Craig's last Bond movie, Danny Boyle directing, and he hits some kind of nerve like Skyfall did, and that thing has legs overseas. I think end of the day, if we get a better Bond movie, critically, fan-wise, on paper, let's just look at it from a critical point of view, I think Bond 25 could beat Wonder Woman 1984, but that is a lot of ifs right now because out of the DCEU, aside from my boy Man of Steel 2 not happening and Superman not happening, Wonder Woman is their main kind of draw right now, and I think that I personally really want to see it. So I think on paper, it's going to do better than Bond.
Yeah, so the box office numbers for Skyfall are actually better worldwide than Wonder Woman. Skyfall did $1.1 billion. Wonder Woman, $821 million worldwide, which is not even as much as Spectre made worldwide. Spectre did $880 million worldwide.
There you go.
However,
worldwide.
Domestically is how I was looking at the question, first of all. And domestically, Wonder Woman did over $400 million. And the highest grossing James Bond movie of all time is Skyfall domestically, just over $300 million. Jeff Snyder, who's winning it?
I think you just nailed the head on the, I don't even know what the phrase is. I forget. I'm blanking.
You'll get
on the head.
The question, I need more specificity. Is it the opening weekend or the total? Is it the domestic box office or the international, like worldwide, that kind of thing? I think it would be a pretty close call, but I would give the edge to Wonder Woman in 1984. I think that you're going to see a 50% bump on that movie. So I think that if the first one made, what was it, 800 million roughly around there, I think this one could make 1.2 billion. Just there was a lot of goodwill for that original one. People really like Gal Gadot in that role. There's all the Time's Up stuff. Just the fact that it's part of a universe that people are invested in, the DC universe. I think that gives it the edge. It's going to come down to who gets cast in this Bond movie, who's the villain, who's like the Bond girls, that kind of stuff. Bond to me really performs based on the quality of the movie. If it's not a great Bond movie, you're going to do kind of average to middling Bond numbers. But if it's a great movie like Skyfall, you have the chance to crack $1 billion.
Chance to crack $1 billion. Yeah. Are you guys excited about Bond 25? Is that something that...
I mean...
Yeah, I'm actually interested to see what
I'm
Danny
excited
Boyle's
for
gonna do.
Danny Boyle, and I know was it John Hodge, his Trainspotting screenwriter, came up with an idea. So that gets me excited, but I'm a Wonder Woman guy. I'm excited to see her in 1984.
Yeah, as of right now, in 1984, Wonder Woman comes out November 1st, and then the Bond movie comes out the next week. You think that's going to hold? Or do you think that Bond maybe gives it a little bit of a birth?
I don't know. That they might. I don't know.
Well, and here's the other thing: Bond may open early internationally, isn't it? Is Bond opening end of October? I think it may be opening like significantly earlier overseas.
I would try to get the jump on Wonder Woman, or I would give Wonder Woman time to crush it.
I think that it is overseas. So yeah, I'd have to do a little bit more research on that one.
All right. Well, our next question is one that we had yesterday on the panel. Mark Riley wasn't here, so Jeff and I are going to have different answers because it is a fun question to talk about. Matt Kropp says, "What is your biggest guilty pleasure film?" Your biggest guilty pleasure film, Mark Riley, the floor is yours.
Film, I would say because of the critical reaction, maybe Jurassic World.
That's your favorite guilty pleasure of all time?
I mean, all time?
Okay, Jeff,
Like-
he wasn't answering for you. He was answering for himself.
My jaw's on there. So let's say that it was on DVD.
No,
Or it is on DVD.
actually, let me. Yeah, no. Jaws 2.
Okay.
Jaws 2.
You're sick at home. You're having a grilled cheese and tomato soup.
It's
a rainy day. You want to feel better. You want to just have a nice couple hours. That's
See,
what you're
I mean,
putting on.
you see the theme though. I love giant monster movies. Anything that's big, monster, eats people. I would say that Jaws 2 is probably my guilty movie pleasure because a lot of people don't like it, but I think it's actually pretty decent as far as a giant shark sequel that you're already suspending the disbelief enough where another shark is coming to the same town and is eating the same people and all.
I can see it.
So,
It's a better pick than Jurassic World, Riley.
well, thank you, Jeff.
It is.
Okay, so
I like Jurassic World a whole lot.
yeah, I love Jurassic
Like a
World. It's a
whole
lot
lot.
of fun, but I'm going off of the fact that that movie, after it came out, was like really hated.
I think people. I think it's at least a mixed.
Okay, I mean,
Jurassic
we'll
World,
see.
it was fine.
Oh, you liked it?
I didn't dislike it.
Okay, all right.
But
to
it's
say,
not
to
a.
say I love it. That's strong, Riley.
It's not a tomato soup
true.
guilty pleasure. For
I
Jeff
loved
Snyder.
my theater experience seeing it opening night. When you watch it again, it's like, yeah.
I'll tell you that my theater experience with Jurassic World off air. It's a funny one.
Oh no, I don't know if I want to hear this story.
All right.
My guilty pleasure is the 80s high school mystery comedy Plain Clothes, starring Arliss Howard and Susie Amos. If you've ever seen Never Been Kissed, that kind of rips off this movie. It's basically about a cop who looks on the young side. His brother is in high school. His brother is accused of murdering a teacher at the high school. And so the cop has to go undercover posing as a student to solve who really killed the teacher to get his brother out of jail.
Wow.
And
okay.
it's fantastic. And that's what always makes me feel good when I'm sick or it's a rainy day out. I
Nice.
just want to chill.
Well, I like the picture you paint, although I can't speak to that movie or any of the participants in it. I like that, you're sick, you're at home, you want to watch something that makes you feel better. A movie that always made me feel better was Toy Soldiers. Sean Astin's
nice.
in it. Will Wheaton is in it. And they're like at this like boarding school, and it gets taken over by terrorists. And so these ne'er-do-wells have to help save Louis Gossett Jr. and everybody else in the school.
right.
And they manage to come up with some harebrained scheme. And will they pull it off? Check out Toy Soldiers.
Are you a Masterminds fan? Have you heard of that movie?
I've heard of the movie, never seen it.
It was with Vincent Kartheiser, and he's like at a boarding school, and Patrick Stewart comes in and takes it over. That's a
No,
lot
I
like
thought you
what
were
you're
talking about the
describing.
Galifianakis Kristen Wiig movie
no,
that just
no.
came out.
Yeah,
Owen
that was
Wilson.
bad.
Yeah, I heard that wasn't good.
that wasn't-
Is Brendan Fraser in that one?
Brendan Fraser's not
That's not
in
it.
Toy Soldiers.
I know School Ties, but no. I thought he had a small part.
Small soldiers.
School Ties, good
Small
movie.
Soldiers, yeah.
How
School
hard?
Ties is great.
All right, one more
Last
question.
one.
And we call today. Alex Tornai is the headliner here, and he says, "Hey guys, I love your content. Wishing you all a happy 4th from Chicago. Chicago knows how to party on the 4th. Happy to you as well, Alex. Which movie do you consider to be the best summer blockbuster film in the past 20 years?" All right, this is a movie that has to have been released
big.
between May and none of this April 27th junk.
Right.
May and the end of August.
Yep, I agree.
And a movie that did perform well at the box office. Those are your parameters.
I've got two choices. They're both a little obvious. The first one, I'll go exactly 20 years ago to Armageddon. Armageddon is a great summer movie, and then really the granddaddy of them all. I don't know how you really top this one, The Dark Knight.
Yeah, Dark Knight was pretty
was special.
pretty powerful stuff in 2008, I believe, and then 10 years before that.
Every 10 years, there's an amazing summer movie. Maybe this summer will be Mission Impossible. Who
yeah.
knows?
So
Those are great movies,
the
too.
Dark Knight and Armageddon are Jeff Snyder's picks. And Mark Riley, I think I can admit this on camera. I could stay awake just to hear your breathing. What is your favorite blockbuster of the last 20 years?
I had The Dark Knight just because.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
We agree on something.
well, yeah. I mean, I saw that movie in theaters. It was amazing. I had to see it again, and then I got a special screening where I saw Gary Oldman, Chris Nolan, Christian Bale speak, and Aaron Eckhart speak afterwards, and that was like film school church.
I think I went to that too. I think I went with Dowling
At the-
actually at the PGA.
Yeah, it was at the PGA or the right. No, it was at the PGA. Yes,
Yeah.
you were probably there. I was
Wow.
like blown away.
That's freaky.
Would go
All
back
right,
and
we
see
get
it
it.
again.
You're both friends with famous people.
Oh, I don't know those people. I just watch them. I was like, that's cool. They're all talking. But yeah, The Dark Knight is by far the best summer movie.
My favorite part about that conversation is when Jeff went really in for the high five, and Riley just kind of held it up there, then just continued to not make eye contact.
Yeah,
Jeff Snyder, yeah, we can high five.
High five.
Yeah.
I slapped him. There was no meeting in the middle.
Yeah, there was no desire on his end to bond with you.
He was in breach of his contract in which he does not touch Riley.
That's right. I can't cross this line on the deck.
This is the line right here.
All right, well, look, I love The Dark Knight. I think The Dark Knight is a great movie. If I think summer blockbuster of the last 20 years, for some reason, the movie that sticks in my mind more than The Dark Knight that's by Christopher Nolan is Inception. For whatever reason, it also came out in the summer. But I also would levy The Avengers. The first Avengers movie kicked off the summer 2012, and I think that maybe it's not a tougher task to pull off than The Dark Knight because you're revitalizing the Joker and you're making a different version of it, a darker, more grittier version of Batman too. But The Avengers was uniting something that we never thought we would get, even in individual pieces. Yeah. And the fact that all the stars aligned to set that movie up, and for Joss Whedon to be able to get all these people together and control these egos both on screen and off screen and make that kind of production, I just think that's an incredible example of a summer blockbuster for the last 20 years. And that's the one that I'm going to take. So
it's a good one.
The Avengers.
I would.
Those are good questions. Good questions, Riley. Nicely done.
Hey, thanks to them. It wasn't
Thanks
me.
to you guys.
I just picked the questions. They were good. Thank you for sending them in. They were great questions.
Thank you for sending them in. And I think that I think we did a pretty good job answering them. Of course, with the exception of Jeff Snyder's desires to see what in episode 9. Good effort, Jeff. Better luck next time. Where can all the kids find you, sir?
At the Snyder on Twitter and Instagram. And kids, don't play with fireworks.
Oh. And keep your shirts on during sex. Mark Riley, where can the kids find you?
At Riley Round on Twitter and Instagram. And the Riley Roundtable drops every Wednesday. Go check out the one I have up now. It's Jaws commentary. Me and Dan Merle.
I am merely Mark Ellis. You can follow me at Mark Ellis Live across all social media platforms. For upcoming shows, go to markellislive.com. And we will see you tomorrow for a brand new episode of Collider Movie Talk, live in studio, 9 a.m. PST. See you then. Happy 4th, everybody. Be safe with fireworks. Hey everybody, Mark Ellis here. Thanks for watching this episode of Collider Movie Talk. You want to watch more? Then click up here, or you can click right here for more great content from Collider. And if you haven't subscribed to Collider Video, do so right now and share this vid with your friends. Thanks for watching.